What is going on, guys? I am the Veteran Miner, and this is Veteran GPURisers. What's going on tonight? How you guys doing? We are live. We got quite a few people watching.
I like the background, Dave.
Yeah,
the green.
A long time ago.
It looks good.
That's your color on the top and my color on the bottom.
Okay. But it looks good.
So anyway, I'm trying to figure all this out. It's supposed to be a lot easier. I think it's a lot easier. We're streaming on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it right now, as well as YouTube. So we have all the comments over here. I just want to do a roll call really quick. I want to say thank you to Son of a Rabish, Hawk Crypto Mining, Crypto Craig, 10 Minutes to Midnight, Vinny. We also have Automatic Beats, Dom G, Jean-Francois, Kyle Rosa, Steven Cicero, and Nas City, Crypto Frank. Hello. And yeah, so this is new. And Retro Mike gifted a membership. Thank you very much, Retro Mike. I appreciate you. So I'm just trying to understand how to use this thing really quick. It's pretty simple though. Mike, you use this all the time, right?
What, Streamyard?
Just Streamyard, right?
Yeah, I love it. It's simple. I know it doesn't have like all the bells and whistles, but I can see all the comments on the side, which is nice. You can highlight them. You see that there, Dave? You can like select one and click it and bring it up on the screen. It's just a lot easier seeing everything. It's easier sharing like screens and everything like that. So
I like it.
Nice. I like it. It's and you can go live on X, which is cool. I didn't know that we could even do that, and then I saw Hawk start doing it, and I know he said that you have to do it this way or that way, mixed, because he does like a professional setup, and it looks really good. But I just I don't know, I kind of forgot about it. But then I saw StreamYard just allows you to click one button and boom, boom, boom. So.
I bet you could integrate this with Streamlabs as well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But the intro thing was fine. You have to make everything shorter. That was the whole thing why I didn't just use StreamYard. I have everything that I made personally for StreamYard when I'm doing live, my little live feeds at the shop, right? Because I have a really basic setup at the shop. But overall, it's pretty good. Here's a highlighted message right here from the Mining King. He just got his cable. It's amazing. I appreciate you, buddy.
Which ones did he get?
He got a KS0 AL0. KS0 AL. It's like, listen,
it's a zero. It's something. I guess it's just the barrel plug connector, right? The miners.
Just a barrel plug connector that does it all. Let me tell you, it's just hey, it's been good. A lot of positive feedback. Maybe one negative feedback or something like that. But they're overclocking. You can't overclock.
Yeah.
Just can't do it. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So I don't know how many more things are gonna come up with these boxes. AL Pro, AL Mega, Ultra. Who knows? Hey, if they keep on coming up with ones, I'm gonna keep on selling cables. It is what it is.
Yeah, I feel like it's just Bitmain kind of exploring into these other kind of altcoins and all these other projects, and I mean it's a conspiracy, I guess, but like I feel like that Bitmain's pumping the prices a lot of these altcoins to be able to sell their miners. I don't know if that's much of a conspiracy or if it's just out there, but I think that they kind of target different algorithms and make ASIC chips and do runs like this. So I don't think the lithium miners will be the last. I think that it's the kind of fun game for me, at least, is kind of like what's the next one going to be? You know what I mean? Kind of watching other projects and watching network hash rates kind of jump to see if they're doing testing and stuff like that. But not that I've been doing that, but I going forward, especially after lithium miners and seeing them, they have so much R&D costs and so much manufacturing costs already put into these boxes, right? Because the AL box is like the same box as the KSO, right?
Yes. So the AL0, because they start off with zeros, the AL0 box is just like the KS0 boxes. You have KS0 all the way to Ultra, then you have AL0 right now, then you'll probably have a Pro, and Ultra. But you know, okay, I want to make sure I tell you guys, like, even though I sell cables, it's not like I'm advocating for certain coins or anything like that. So I just want to get that out there, that basically I make, cables for any type of mining solution. Okay. So I'm not bullish on any type of coin or anything like that. So like, oh, the Veteran Miner told me to buy a cable because I'm going to make, my money back next week. No, that's not the case at all. So it's just a matter of, hey, you have a solution, I'm there for you, but you need to do your own research before you do any of this stuff, any of this crypto stuff. You know what I mean? It's great that you buy my cable, but you need to do your freaking research that, is it worth it buying this unit? Is it worth it buying a cable? Is it worth it just doing certain things? Mike, you know what I'm talking about. We had this conversation a couple of days ago. Yeah. So it's one of those things that I just want to just clear the air and just let everybody know that, that's where I stand when it comes to these things.
You're not a sponsor of the project.
Yeah, I'm not sponsoring anybody. I sponsor myself. And Vistang and I, we sponsor each other, But
so I shouldn't have put my life savings in as soon as I saw you make barrel plugs for lithium. Then I mean, that was a bad idea.
I mean, you could have bought like a shit ton of them and then resell them or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm doing pretty good, but yeah, no. So like the projects are projects, right? You guys will do your own. You have your own information, what's out there, but you have to do your research, not just online and like on YouTubers, right? You have to do your research for like everything in general, all right, the reason why I bring this up and the reason why I'm talking about this right now is that there has been a customer that he is over his head and he didn't do enough research. I've tried to help him out. I spent countless hours with him over the phone trying to find solutions for him. And there's no really good solution for him because he just went all the way up here when he should have just been right here, like, the normal average Joe. But he's like all the way up here. And it's really hard to help somebody that's already up here that basically everything's just going down, like a roller coaster right now.
Is it Caspa stuff, Dave?
Caspa, it's
mixture of everything, I guess.
A lithium. Just the two big things that are people are talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That it's not a get rich quick, man. It's
sadly that's how it's advertised a lot, right? And I always
bad.
I'm not gonna name names mostly because I can't really remember, but everyone sees it. I see it, you see it, everyone sees it. But I always say Mike's the most honest salesperson I know because usually people want to sell you these things and a lot of the time Mike's kind of swaying people in the right direction, right? He's like, hey, like we might make more off of this unit, but you should go for this unit instead. It's more stable because you hate to see it. You hate to see people get in situations like this. And I think what's unique about the Caspa and lithium situations are these networks are getting hammered by ASICs so early on. And the difficulty is getting so high that it's even more accelerated than what people thought the schedules would be and be able to like the KS3Ms aren't even profitable anymore at like, a reasonable hosting electric rate. It's not profitable.
Yeah.
And people dive into these things, and so I think it's like, what I'm saying is I'm not surprised that you're hearing this from clients of yours, Dave. You know what I mean? That people kind of get in these situations, and it's not really a hobby for them, right? They start kind of sweating a little bit, and they start seeing their rewards get a little bit less and less, and then when the rewards get less and less, in my opinion, right, it brings more fear into the whatever chain that's like. I'll just use Caspa for instance. It brings fear with people holding Caspa, and then it's kind of like a ladder effect after that. Like people start selling Caspa because they think it's going to go further down and down. But also when these machines aren't as profitable because the prices got cut, right, from Ice River, from Bitmain, everyone, I feel like it even accelerates that more. It's more of a catalyst because then, and again, this is conspiracy theory, but then I don't think that there's any other company out there that are selling these miners like Bitmain and Ice River that are buying the coin anymore to keep the price up. You know what? I don't want to call it a rug pull, but it's kind of that strategy when it comes to selling hardware. And I'm not saying people,
Right.
A lot of people, we have a ton of clients that made a ton of money off Caspa. Like their machine might not be worth anything right now, and that sucks because the machine was just say 10 grand or something, but they might have mined 15 grand off of it.
Right. So it doesn't matter. So even though it's kind of a paperweight right now in time, they were able to get the return before it became a paperweight. Not everybody can say that though. That's the thing. And there's more. What I'm hearing, there's more people that are seeing the paperweight before the return. Because right now everybody's scrambling. Like Gold Shell right now is coming up with a new miner like every fucking 30 days. It's really crazy. Like it's I have one back there, right? Like so I need to do a video. That's the old Gold Shell, right? And that's a new one. It's really nice. It's branded. I was sponsored by them. And that one right now, I think it's making like $1 a day or something. Like not even.
Yeah, it's not even. It's crazy. So, it's crazy. It's
they're the app and they're trying to. I think they're finally scrambling now because back in the day they would just come out with these miners and people will buy them to make money, but now it's like a kind of like this stagnant period that there's so many people crypto mining now, right? Crypto mining has blown up, since the Panda days when Panda started doing it, right? There was like handfuls of people. Like, look at all the people that came into the space last 2 years, Mike. Look at all the new YouTubers in the last 2 years that are YouTubers and people that are mining. We all came out of the woodworks.
Yeah,
I discovered crypto. I'm doing something different, with crypto, whatever. But it's nuts the amount of people that are in this space.
Yeah,
there's millions and millions of dollars, dude. That's being invested every day in crypto.
Yeah. And if you look at, you do YouTube too, right? Like you do YouTube more than I do, but we both know, and along with everyone that makes content on YouTube, that like you have to put certain things in, like, and anyone watching that doesn't know, but like YouTubers put tags, they make video topics, they talk about certain things that kind of hit the algo, right? Like how many views can I get? How many subscribers can I get? And everything like that. In times of like bad economies and uncertainty and fear, and the fear to greed index, when it's over towards fear and stuff like that, people start getting worried. They're not making enough money. They start looking up like passive income, how to make money on the side. It's like a normal thing. And so a lot of these YouTubers gear their videos towards that. And they're like, if you go on Twitter or you go and look at the video feeds, it'll say, I made this much this month off this. It's like the same equation, right? And there's a reason why they use it, and there's why multiple YouTubers use that equation, is because it hits the algorithm just right. And the problem with, like you said, is so many people are into it, Dave, that it creates competition among YouTubers and influencers, which then there's even more of a flood of other people coming in to absorb that content and like for passive income to make more money.
I think people are coming in like under false pretenses, if that makes any sense, right? And because they just saw something, and that's their fault too, right? You have to put in perspective. That's their fault not doing enough research. It is what it is, man. We're human beings.
Yeah.
If it's too good to be true, most of the time it's not true, man. That's just the bottom line, But a crypto can say something here. I have it on the screen here. Veteran Miner. If you really want yield, you need to GPU mine at a loss early. My GPU solo mining made many times what these ASICs made in an hour, just due to yields. Hodl.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have, like, we know Crypto Craig personally, right? If you have the means of doing something like that, go right ahead. That's not bad. Yeah, why not?
Craig's 100% right.
Yeah,
and that's what it is with, and that's kind of the name of the game now. I think is following projects, holding what you believe in the project with, like have some kind of basis for why you're holding it and stuff. Or you might just think that it might pick up steam with other YouTubers, right? If you look at a project and you're like, wow, this is going to be good clickbait, or this is going to be good, passive income, YouTubers are going to push it, then it's good to get in too. But it's I think that's the name of the game. And if you're diversified, it's okay to take losses on certain things, right? Like there's loss leaders that businesses have. I was just at Micro Center down in Miami, and I was talking with Frank about this. They have a loss leader that's like the AMD CPUs, right? And I'm not going to go on a tangent about that. What I'm saying is, in response to Craig, is if you're GPU mining and you're ASIC mining and you have AI, right? If you're making money on the AI and you're making money on the ASIC or breaking even, it's okay to lose money maybe on the GPUs and take a chance and mine early, because that's the part of the game, right? With all of this, it's okay to take a risk on that, because your overall business, your crypto mining business that you've started is still generating revenue. So you might as well take chances on this. And I should have done that with Caspa in the beginning. I should have done that with Lithium. I mined Lithium before Ethereum merged, and I just sold it. I was like, and there was no reason to sell it, because I was making hand over fist on Ethereum mining. You know what I mean? Like I should have taken chances. And that's where I think GPU mining and spec mining kind of went. Retro Mike talks about it a lot, where, you can, I think it was, I forgot the miner, but it was Retro Mike makes that point as well too. And I think you guys are all right about that. That's like the thing to do is kind of, like spec mine. That's really what it is. But I understand why some people can't, because they have one GPU rig and they're like, I have to make as much as I can right now off of this GPU rig. And I got to pay my electric bill. But if you have multiple sources of income, or revenue from different, crypto mining, AI, whatever you can do with the hardware, then it's worth it to hold these projects, because, anyone who did with Caspa, anyone who GPU mined Caspa made a ton of money if they held it, right? Because before the ASICs hit. But I'm just catching up on the comments too. Visting is my exit liquidity. Just like Andy says, one big win pays for those 50 small losses to get there. Yeah, I mean, it's true. You know what I mean? It's you're not going to win them all, right? And you see people come in, like you said, Dave, like new people coming in, new YouTubers coming in, and they see, oh, this person made so much money off of this Castle miner, I should get it right now. And they put all their eggs into a China box, and then that's it. It's like, education is a big thing in the crypto field. And I think that's one mistake that every crypto miner will kind of admit to and relate to, is at one point they put all their eggs into one basket. Whether it was buying only cards and building a whole setup just for Ethereum mining, despite it merging. Looking back, you should have diversified a little bit. You know what I mean? Should have started looking into different things. Everyone putting in all their money into one Caspa miner. Maybe they should have, instead of doing that, they should have bought instead of the L version, they should have bought the M and then bought a GPU rig or a Bitcoin or script ASIC. But I think people want return. There's like a sense of urgency in the crypto markets. I talk about this often, but it's like, I need to get my money back as soon as possible. It's like almost when they're putting the money in, it's instant panic. It's like, I need to get this back as soon as possible. And that's not the right person to get into crypto mining in moments like this.
You can't do that. Yeah. You'll hemorrhage everything and your sanity and everything else. I just want to keep a little trades. He was saying, just like Andy says, one big win pays for those 50 small losses to get there. So I remember Andy saying that, your friend Andy, he was like, I'll dabble into all these little ones. And he's able to, right? Like, we're not saying this is what you guys need to do. We're just saying that if you can do this kind of things and dabble into, like Visting was just saying, dabble into these little projects, and Crypto Craig, before they become something, hey, you never know, right? It
Yeah.
happens all the time. But it's just a matter of like, you have to be comfortable and you have to say, I invest $200. It's like going to the casino. You invest $200. Yeah, I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna take out $300 for the casino, and if I lose it, I use that for entertainment purposes only. So I go home, and that's it. You know what I mean? That's how you should look at it in crypto too. That's just my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's when you're buying crypto and stuff like that, or buying and putting all your eggs into one basket for like one ASIC miner.
Right.
You know, I agree 100%.
So on the bottom here, really quick, Mike, on the bottom here, it's just that I have my two websites right here, the veteranminer.com, gpucables.com, and you have Vistang's website, GPURisers.com. So we got a lot of GPU things going on right here. So these are three websites. So if you're familiar or you're new to us on X, because we're streaming live on X, and I never streamed live on X before, but YouTube, and if we have someone new, you know, smash that like button. But we have a special guest that's behind the scenes right now that we would like to add to the stage. So let's welcome him.
That guy. What's up, Frank?
Nothing.
Frank, everybody. So if you guys don't know who Frank is, he is part of the Terra team. And yeah, what's going on, Crypto Frank?
Can you hear me all right?
Perfect.
Oh, good. It's better than last time.
Yeah, we were just talking about the importance of liquidating 401ks and buying Caspa miners.
Yes.
That's how I think everyone should do it. Smartest thing you could do.
I mean, Frank, you've been in the crypto world too. What was your first ASIC? I don't think I ever asked you that.
My first ASIC was a L3++.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you when you first got in? Did you like diversify? Because we were just talking about that. Like, did you buy just a bunch of L3++s, or did you buy some GPUs? And
I bought 100 of them.
100 L3++s?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah. Those probably got a return though, the script miners.
Yeah. Well, I bought them for like $50 or no less. It was like $35 each.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
that's like scrap metal pricing pretty much.
Well, they were just running them over in China.
Yeah.
Like you can see videos of them just running them over. But then I sold them all in the last bull market.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they were all selling for like $800 each and stuff like that.
It's crazy how old that miner is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It still works good. You install Hive OS on it.
Mm-hmm.
I got 4 of them over at the data center.
You know, I still have one. I did a video on it because that's when I made those cables for the APW3, APW7s, right? For the 10 pins, because they were burning up. And I put it on for about a day or two and I had to take it off because it wasn't profitable. my electric's not so good.
Yeah.
But when it came out with the high mode, I just haven't had the time because you could do it on low power mode or something like that, right?
With Hive OS?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can put it on low power mode. It goes down like 30% in power.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Man, it's not like having some Litecoin. I like Litecoin. I don't know what it is. It's just something about it. I really like it.
This time in the market kind of feels like that too. Like the last, like, I don't know what it's called when it's not, it's a bear market, right? But it's like this depression zone right before a bull market where people are panic selling equipment. And I think we kind of see that now with, you know, especially Bitcoin miners, like ones that, you know, like 100 terahash, 110 terahash, like the 19 versions, all the alphabet versions of those. But I kind of see that happening now too. It kind of reminds me of that time. People are giving them up for like $200-$300 a pop because they're not profitable right now. But it's, you know, if Bitcoin goes on another bull run like it did last time, these things are going to be worth, you know, like what happened with you, Frank, like 10 times what they're worth now.
Yeah, I mean, if you can buy, if like at some point, you know, the S19, the 110s, right? People are going to be like, oh, these are worthless. And if they drop down to $100 or $50, you could buy 10 of them for $500 or $1,000, and you just you sit on them. I mean, it's a risk. That's probably, it's a higher risk than just mining. But if Bitcoin pumps, which everyone hopes it does, and everyone thinks it's going to. And I mean, I'm in the same boat. I'm praying that it does. But
we all are. I mean,
yeah. but if it pumps, you'll easily quadruple your money. You know, like King was right when he did it. I mean, I don't know where he's at with his miners, but if it pumps and it goes over 100 grand, then all of those are going to sell for 2 or 3x.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you can't beat that. We don't. It's the unknown, right? Because everybody knew everything. We wouldn't have these. You have so much variables, but there's so many variables that are involved with crypto.
Yeah.
It's just.
And if Bitmain does what they did with the L3s, that you can put the L3++'s firmware on there natively versus putting Hive on there. If you do that with S19s and S21s, then they'll be worth even more, because you wouldn't have to spend the money to get the higher hash rate version. You could get the lower one and just do a drop down.
Yeah, and there's always like a salvage value too of these things, right? Because there's always places, and that's something I never understood until a couple of years ago. But there's always places around the world that have either very cheap electric or free electric, and so it's like, how much is this machine going to like? You can kind of look at the machine and see how much it makes with free electric, and you can kind of see what the worth of the machine would be. And I feel like that there's some kind of terahash dollar amount that like bottoms out. Because, you know, I had one customer recently for R8s, and he's from Qatar, and they just have, you know, it's all oil over there, right? But it's just free electric. And there's people in the States that have free electric, which it's not always free. It's coming from somewhere, right? But it's not just the U.S., like an arbitrage on electric, finding the cheapest electric rate and hosting. There's countries that are out there that, you know, are doing this, that are buying these by the, you know, tens of thousands, that have free electric, or such a minimal amount that it, you know, less than a cent. You know, I know Venezuela's like that, Colombia's like that. It's not places where we would put our machines, because it's a one-way trip to those places, right? But these people are buying them. We met someone early on with Terra. It was actually an old client, and he did this. He had a deal with the Colombian government, and in turn for him, with this company that he set up, helping the Colombian government better understand this, on how to build this out and everything like that, they gave him basically a free 5 megawatt facility that he could just max out and use forever. They just didn't care. And there's places like that everywhere, especially for stabilizing grids in other countries too, and having a constant demand to justify the build out cost. There's a lot of benefits to it, but
yeah, it's pretty high risk too. I mean,
yeah, of course, yeah.
I mean, anything could happen over there.
Yeah,
or any other country, really. I mean, like,
send it over there. You're not gonna, you know, get it back. That's for sure. You know.
Yeah. You know, the guy that was over there in particular in Colombia, he was like, "Oh yeah, it's fine. It's very safe. You know, we'll pick you up, and like everyone has guns there, and we just bring you to the facility, and it's guarded by the military in Colombia." I'm like,
very safe.
I was like, Mike, you can go on this one. Just, you know, send me some pictures.
Jesus. So I want to touch on this question, the Mining King. He's saying that, Mike, it's a reference to Mike and I. Do we have any new products, developments in our companies? Mike, I'll let you go first.
Not with GPURisers, no. GPURisers is always like, it still is and always has been kind of, I don't want to say, it kind of migrated towards the last bull run towards, I guess, the prosumer, you know what I mean? Like the customer that might have a 240 volt in their garage, or has like a small commercial area where they can put R8s. But right now, there's no need to have a larger riser or more capacity. There was before, right? It was always like a battle of having the highest quality stuff you can have, the highest splitter cable quality. Like those were all issues that needed to be solved. And that was always what it was for me. GPURisers was like, problems I had as a miner, this was the solution, and this is the product I want to use. So I'll just create a business around the products that I want to use, because I care about my hardware. Okay. So when it comes to like new products, not really, no. The AI data center stuff, because I see Mining King talking about that with AI. AI is really expensive to get into, and I don't know enough about these products to be able to, like, I wouldn't be able to do the support, right, for it.
Okay.
And the capital cost to be able to even start that side of it is difficult. There's not really, I know that everyone watching this and stuff, we're all dabble in AI a little bit, right? Like Vast AI rig here,
Right.
there, and stuff like that. But the time to educate customers on it is very difficult. GPURisers was easy because Red Panda Mining, Hobbies, all these guys would release videos on how to build a mining rig, and then they just show my orange box, and it was like easy. It's now, unless Jared, if you want to make videos about how to use all this stuff, then sure. But right now, it's not really, it's not out there. And during bear markets, people don't really want to invest a whole lot in stuff. It's expensive. These machines. I have another one right here, but just the overhead of these machines are like $3,000-$4,000 before you add GPU to them. So I know I'm ranting, but long story short, I know I just talked to Frank about that, but I'm not looking at new products. If the market demands it, then I will, but I want to stay in consumer grade stuff. Now, if we ever get into data center level stuff, retail stuff, or wholesale to data centers, large scale stuff, we've talked about this at Terra, then that would be Terra doing it. I would be able to help with that because I've done the supply chain with GPURisers. I know a lot from that, but GPURisers will always be a hobby miner company. I'm not interested in doing anything for that, but so long story short, Dave, what about you? Are you going to be building Transformers?
So I have in the corner right there, we're going to do a solo thing right here so I can explain it. I'm going to put it on the screen here. So I have another computer downstairs in my garage right now, and this will touch with what he's saying about developments and everything like that. So this is an amp meter right there. You guys can see there's two of them. There's two different renditions right now that I'm trying to put together and seeing what the best option would be for the end consumer, right? So this amp meter is already made. It's made in China, like everything else is. But I'm using my own cables and I'm soldering my own cables to it, making it PCIe lanes. So the one on the right, if you guys can see it, I have it on the screen by itself. It's running about 193, 194 watts right now, right? That's connected to two KS0 Ultras. So it's pretty efficient when it comes to the watts, the watts and the amperage, right? And then the one on the left, I'm going to touch base on that. That's for AI. So those are two 8 pins that are coming in. That's a 3090 that's on Vast right now. Okay. Right now it's like 14 watts, 13 watts. Now this is being rented. And then it jumps to like 26, as you can see right now live. The most I've ever seen this go up to is like 65 watts, Mike. Does that make any sense to you?
For what's connected
hard at all? The one on the left is connected to the Vast AI rig.
23 watts. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, but it's always like that. It's like, and then it'll jump to like 60 watts, and that's about it, man. Like
a lot of these people renting, like regardless of what platform you're on, something that we've noticed at Terra is, and I've noticed it with my personal stuff too. A lot of these machines are they're rented for standby. Some are rented to train language models and do that, but a lot of, like the one that you have right now, Dave, pulling 23 watts, it's probably just on standby. What would be interesting is can that little thing like detect like peaks over like a day or
no? So it doesn't hold memory, from my understanding. It's just basically a live feed. It's just it's not a super smart chip. It's basically just a through point, right? So it's just in and out. It's just giving you live readings right there and then. It's not going to be able to give you like pinpoints, unfortunately. But it was just a meter, right? So I think this is really, in my opinion, really cool that you can actually see like what's going on with this GPU. So I mean, it's just like this is on Vast AI. I'm making good profit with this 3090, and the most I've seen it hit is like 65 watts. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. You guys can comment below. I was looking to do like a pre-order. I never, ever did a pre-order ever. But I was thinking about doing a pre-order. I think it's like maybe like $42.99. It's not much profit or anything like that. It's just a little tool that you guys could use. And I just wanted to bring to the table. we'll see. We'll get feedback. I'll go on Twitter. You know, we'll try to get this out there to see like what you guys think about like the price and what we can do. I mean, it literally takes me about 2 hours to make what you see on the left or the right hand side, literally. So, I mean,
look how many custom cables you have there, Dave. I mean, you got these things connected to on both sides. You have the one motherboard cable, which I've been wanting to get. You know, the one that you just the plug.
That's right.
And then you have the barrel plug one right there. It's almost like you set this up to put a video camera on it. I love it.
I didn't realize that, but yeah, so that's the new cable that hasn't come out either, the orange one. So it's 2 barrel connectors, and there's a piece, you can't see it, but it steps down 12 volts to 5 volts. So the BitX is a 5-volt unit. So you can see there that basically that's for a BitX. So it's the first BitX that's being powered up by a 12-volt source that I made.
Yeah,
it's cool stuff. I don't know. I love all this stuff. So,
I do too. It's crazy. You literally come up with everything. Whenever I FaceTime you and you're usually at your shop, you know, but it's like, look at this. It's just like, God, like literally any cable you can make. It's really interesting. I love it.
But I mean, so that was it. You know, I planned to show this, but it didn't work out. It worked out a lot better than obviously, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Frank, what you got there? What are you drinking?
It's Gravestone.
Nice.
It's like 31 years aged.
Wow.
It's
Good
good.
Is it wine or is it
Whiskey.
No, it's whiskey.
whiskey? Okay.
I don't know. If I show the bottle, is that bad?
I mean, you're not
No,
paying for the sponsorship. You need to tell them.
No, I talk about the CIA murdering politician.
Yeah, I guess maybe you can't see it because I blur my screen.
There you go. Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah. Greenstone.
Yeah, they're good.
Nice.
Nice.
But yeah, let me just take that off. Let me just remove that so this is us three. But yeah, so that was pretty cool. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below, guys, if you're interested in something like that. I'm always trying to. So the way my company works is just I need to keep on inventing things that make sense to stay alive in this type of market right now, right? But I also I'm really excited to make new products that helps you guys out too. Like I said, I'm not an advocate for any of these coins per se. I may like them, but you guys do your own research. That's the bottom line. You don't do your own research, that's your problem. That's all I have to say about that. But
what's the worst thing for your company? Like what's the worst thing that manufacturers do that affect you?
I mean, when they come out, the mini box miners, because there's the laptop power supplies are just complete crap. So right now, what the manufacturers are coming out with just a plug and play to your outlet, not so good because you don't need me at all. So if they actually just veer off that way completely, we would need GPU mining to come back extremely hard.
Are you saying like the C13 cable that's like direct to it?
Yeah. So like that box miner right there in the back of me, right there. You see, it's that's the new Doge miner, right? And it's so funny and ironic.
That's a lot bigger than I thought it was.
Yeah. So it's so funny how like I got sponsored, right? So I got sponsored with this by Gold Shell, but meanwhile, and he was telling me too, and he was like, "Hey, you can't make a cable for this." I was like, no, I can't. But yeah, it's just a regular C13, man.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah. I mean, they all go to that, and right now it's like an ASIC. Okay, it's weird, right? Because it's kind of an ASIC world right now. You guys would agree?
Yeah.
So like, you have Ice River that came out of the woodworks, making all crazy shit, and basically they're barrel connectors. And I was like, oh, this looks like a good idea. And it was a home run, 100%.
Yeah.
Then he came out with Ice River this, Ice River that, and then now AL0. So I'm staying alive that way. Then you have the other AL boxes that require PCIe connectors as well, PCIe connections. So that's what I sell, you know?
Yeah.
It's not it's kind of a niche, I guess you would say, because I'm not selling computer cables to gamers yet. So that is the hard sell when you guys aren't making money out there. I ain't making any money either. Yeah. So if it starts to get really, really dead, my business gets extremely dead. Nobody's gonna buy things and you don't need anything.
Yeah, all those machines though that you're making cables for, the manufacturers would have to change all of their engineering plans to change out the connection.
Right.
So you're pretty safe.
Yeah. For now.
Yeah.
For now, until I find out some other way that I could develop something else that I can make.
Or they come out with wireless power.
Yeah. I think you're good though, because I see these manufacturers that make the ICE Ray, right? They make these KSOs, ALOs, or whatever the next one's going to be, right? Like they're still low powered that they're going to keep putting these barrel plugs on there. It hasn't really been an issue.
Yeah, they just changed it. They literally, I need to get an AL0, right? I just don't want to spend the money for it right now because, I mean, it's not profitable.
Yeah.
As much as what it was supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
And the time I spend money and I get one, I'm behind the eight ball. That's just the bottom line. It's too late.
Yeah.
It's too late for me to get one now. So I need to figure out like if there's going to be a price drop or something like that so I get my hand on one. But I guarantee if I can take it apart, all they did was probably just change the chips, man. The chips, the chips would dictate what you do and what you can't do. So I'm going to do a video. If I get my hands on one, I'm going to take it apart. I'm going to show the differences because right here, I'm going to be doing videos. There's a camera right there that I can plug into the computer that you guys can see actually just by the microchip. So there's going to be some pretty cool videos coming out. It's been so busy, man. Just really busy. I'm a one-man show, so some people got to bear with me when it comes to making the cables, Yeah. But it's going to be really cool. So you can show. I'm showing a comparison and a breakdown between the Pro and the Ultra. The Zeros. Spoiler alert, it's the freaking chips. That's all.
Is the ALO the same wattage? Is it like the same kind of thing? I assume so. It is.
Like 100 watts, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, because it's using the same heat sink, the same everything. So
same exact thing. I guarantee you that we go into the microscope and we show the difference. It's going to be chips, maybe some capacitors that they added or something like that for to store the energy and stuff like that. But all the same stuff at the end of the day, man.
I see Nelson's Crypto's asking for the cables for the ALO and KSO series. Has anyone ran overclocks them? Is there a wattage rating for Dave's? I think your wattage is what, 700 watts. So you can run through a barrel plug. It'll be fine.
I mean, listen, Nelson's Crypto. All right. The fast answer is no. It's not for overclocking. The other answer would be at your own risk. Just like when you overclock your unit, that unit could brick. It's just not worth it, in my opinion, for you to overclock the units. Not because you're not supposed to use my cables. I don't care if you buy my cable or not. Well, I do. I mean, I could use a couple of dollars. You know what I mean? But the main thing that I'm trying to say is that these units weren't made for overclocks. That's why they put a barrel connector on them, so you couldn't do this kind of stuff.
I'm curious, Dave. What's like the like what's the failure point? Is it like just say you're running 300 watts through a barrel plug, right? Is the failure point that this thing's just going to melt?
The barrel is a failure point.
That's by it melting, or will it actually just like snap off, or is it?
It melts. Because
okay, so if this was in like cold mineral oil, could you technically run like an extra 200 watts through it, or like what would be the next thing to fail? From that, because
the failure point is the barrel connector getting so hot. So
gotcha.
If you could keep it cool, and don't do this, you guys. Don't buy these things and start melting the shit out of them. But I'm just saying that.
No, you just dunk it in a mineral oil jacuzzi, crank it up 500 watts, and you get to go.
I know when someone would say, "Hey, the barrel connector melted." I was like, "Hey, you were overclocking." No, I wasn't. I was like, "Yes, you are," because I have a lot of people out there that have done extensive testing on my barrel connectors to the failure point. There are people right there that are using my cables right now that are overclocking and keeping them cool as shit.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're doing it, and I'm not going to tell you how to do it because you shouldn't do that with my barrel connectors. Because just like that 19 volts of those power bricks is going to melt, even 12 volts is going to melt even faster. That's all.
Yeah.
Ohm's law. Very, very simple. So in a nutshell, no, they're not rated for, I always say, factory ratings of the manufacturer's factory rating. Because when you had the regular KS0 and it was like whatever, 80 watts or whatever, and then they had the KS0 Ultra, okay, at 100 and something watts. Well, Dave, you said that it only goes up to 80 watts. Well, yeah, because it's manufacturer's ratings, because the unit is not working extra hard because they changed the chips. The chips are made to be pushed that way. It's not as hot. It's just simple. It's very, very simple. When you overclock something, you're running it harder. That's all.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people now. I'm not really hearing about overclocks, but of course the AL0, because if you were the first batch, you're not making as much as you were supposed to make, and then 2 weeks later down the road, you're not going to make as what you anticipated making. So what's the natural thing to do? Overclock the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And then
this has to be strategic by like the manufacturers, right?
I know. Yeah, I mean,
like,
they have to.
I mean,
it's sell them, Mike. They have to sell them.
Yeah.
They're making batches of hundreds of thousands.
Yeah. Nelson's Crypto, you said that you're running 2 overclocks at 50 watts overclocks. Are you using Dave's or Veteran Miner's cables, or are you using like the stock barrel one?
I'm just curious. People have overclocked my cables, and the temperatures are like really, really cool, but eventually they're gonna melt, and they're aware of that. But some people push it to the limits, and then I do testing with people out there, and to see what we can do. Like, is there something different or anything like that? But just doing the math, simple math, it's not made for that. You know?
Yeah, I remember all my cables all turning yellow.
Everything turns
yeah. And all
brown and yellow.
All the L3s are on anything. They all turn yellow.
Yeah. I guess brown is bad. It's yellow is all right, but brown's a little dangerous.
He says he has the metal cables from me.
Is that the metal like barrel plug, like the whole metal, the end piece, right?
Yeah, it's a metal barrel plug, but I mean, that's what I've been since day one. There was like the only rendition that we did was I made them all metal. Because the plastic, it was a little flimsy. I didn't like the way the plastic was. I was like, all metal looks nicer aesthetically. Yeah. Not that you could put more watts through it or anything like that. It's aesthetically pleasing for me personally, and I went with all metal. For a reason. It's crazy. It's nuts. I need to get my hands on one of these things. See, that's hard with me too, right? So it's like our businesses are kind of different, right, Bissang? It's just like me, the latest and greatest. Do I have a different solution for the customers out there that makes sense, that they would need a cable or something like that, or something? You know what I mean? That's the thing. Like, where I'm always, it's like having my computer degree, right? You always have to take tests and exams and stay up with the times, because if you lose 3 months of time in the computer industry, you're lost in the sauce. That's just the way it is, Yeah. So,
especially with everything changing now, like everything's changing so rapidly. I can't keep up with half of it, more than half of it.
I can't keep up with all these coins and all coins and doing this, triple mining, double mining, and all this other, like, even in the GPU days, I just I can't. I don't have the time, So I do rely on our friends that have YouTube channels to do this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah, I get all my updates from like Chump Change.
Yeah.
In the mornings. That's what
morning show.
Yeah, I listen to on my way to work. I mean, him just
he's
like
the perfect formula.
Huh?
No, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But yeah, he has like the perfect formula with his show.
Mhm.
You know, news, mining, updates, like boom, boom, boom. Like it's like good. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Money King. After this purchase, no RI equals never again. Because he just purchased where is it? This one here. Get the AL0. So
How much were those?
at the time, I think they were $7.99 or $8.99 or something like that.
yeah.
I think so, right?
What made you decide to get into cables? Did something happen and like you were just tired of crappy cables?
So so my background is electronics. You guys know that. So, you know, when I worked for AudioBox Corporation engineering department, I just love small electronics, just electronics. You know, when I did job trainings throughout the United States, teach mechanics how to install. At the time, AudioVox owned Code Systems, and Code Systems was the integration for the alarms and remote start systems for Ford. So there's a factory Ford remote that looked like it was Ford made it. Well, AudioVox was the one that made those systems. So when it came to wiring, I was just, you know, a big advocate because I was in some magazines. You probably could look it up or whatever, but I did like large, major, like JBL audio system. I was in a magazine. Doing that. I went to, you know, basically training in Watertown, Massachusetts, and I was this big car audio guy, and cables are very, very important because you could have a fire in a car, right? So I worked with a trainer that trained me in the beginning, and we had a fish tank in a car. It was pretty cool. All these kind of things. So like wiring is my background. So when it came into the cables for the company, I got into crypto, and I'm looking at these cheap shit. Just having like knowledge of cables or just wiring background. I'm like, wow, this is crap. So I started making some by hand, and then all of a sudden you start seeing videos with all the new YouTubers that came about, like Chump Change, and you know the hobbyist miner, everybody. Even Red Panda was having the problems because Ethereum, you're running hot there, you know. So the cables are smelting, like you were saying. The L3++, everything's brown and yellow, and things are burning up. So I came up with a solution that your cables won't burn up by using a standard that should have never went away, 16 gauge cables. You'll have some 16 gauge cables, but not everything's true because it's not vetted enough because it's coming from China, right? So I decided to be the first company, I would say, in the United States to make crypto miner cables, probably the only company in-house, and have my cables vetted for the proper wattage. That's all. And then it just grew from there. I think when Mike knew me, I think only had like 3 cables or something like that. Mike.
Yeah, because it was a problem. You know, it's. I feel like crypto mining was fine in the beginning, or GPU mining.
Right.
It was all right when you had like the RX 470, 480, and then the 570, 580 came out, and all of it was fine and dandy until I feel like in the 2000 series for NVIDIA was okay. You know, the 1080 Ti's for NVIDIA were a little bit iffy. But Ethereum was so demanding on cards. It was like running Kapow 24/7. And this was before Octaminers really, I mean, they had them, but it was very premature. And I feel like, especially once the 3000 series came and these cards were running super hot and for just, 24/7, that's where cables became a huge thing. That's where people were burning up left and right. I think there was I can't remember the time it was, but there was a time with Ethereum where I think it went unprofitable for a little bit, or Ravencoin became very profitable for a little bit. It might have been around like some kind of fork or something, but everyone switched all their stuff to Ravencoin, and like farms were catching on fire. You know what I mean? Because they were all built for Ethereum mining. They weren't built for wattages that would change. And I think that's the point where people realized, hey, I have $1,000 GPU on a multi-$1,000 rig. This, these wires are the cheapest part. It's always like the weakest link in the chain. That's why I did risers. it was very similar. But people started noticing the wires can't handle this. And that's why I think a lot of people ended up going towards Dave's wires. That's what attracted me to Dave's wires in the beginning too. I was like, spending all this money on this rig, these wires are more expensive, but one, I can't find them anywhere else, and like two, this guy's in America, so I trust it. Like I know what I'm getting, and he seems very knowledgeable about it. And he was solving that issue. At the grand scheme of things, it's a very minimal cost in the overall build of the machine. And I think Dave's cables go all the way even up to today, right? Like how much is your cable for an AL0 or KS0?
It's literally $22.99.
Yeah, I mean that's
you're getting a piece of crap power brick.
Yeah, I mean there's no reason not to get that, because one, your machine is going to cost what, $500+ when these things first came out. The second thing also that people with all these new machines have to worry about is that there's these emissions that are going on with, especially with Casper, right? Every month it's getting less and less. More people are getting on the algorithm. So like if you have a power brick that burns up on it and you need to RMA it, you might as well throw the machine out. You know what I mean? So like it's
I mean, talk about the machine. Look, the new lower price is $299 for the AL0 already.
Yeah.
They did the first batch. People paid whatever, $800 or something like that. I think it was $800. You guys let me know in chat, because I could have sworn it was like $800 brand new.
$299 already,
bro.
Can you pull up the hash? Or I think I can, right? If I pull it up.
Yeah. Well, the hash is just going sky high.
I'm just curious. I haven't looked at it honestly at all. That website's boring. Which one looks good? Oh. It's 2 miners, right? Is that the one that has like the nice?
Yeah, 2 miners are really nice. I like 2 miners.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steven Cicero, I just want to touch base. He was just telling me about the guy. Yeah, the guy was David Rivera, that fish man. Basically, I was his student back in the day. But we did the fish tank. We did JBL audio system. But yeah, he's around. I still talk to him. This is like over 20-something years ago, though. But yeah, his name is David Rivera, the fish man. You guys look it up. You'll probably see me in magazines, stuff like that in there with him. But yeah, it's just like, it was just an awesome experience. And now I'm into crypto mining. So it's just like, here we go. Down the rabbit hole. See what happens. Who knows? You going to show that thing, Mike? Or you want me to add it to the stage?
Yeah, I'm looking at it, though. I don't think a lithium's on here, is it? On 2 miners?
Oh. I don't.
Flux is on here, but we don't have to talk about that right now. I know their ETFs around the corner. So,
what's Flux at?
I don't know. That's 57 cents, I think, somewhere. I don't check it only every hour.
That's higher than 51.
He's like, I don't check it like once a day, twice a day.
Yeah.
What
Yeah, I mean, see, these charts are so bad. Do you want me to show it or what? Anyone in the chat, what's a good one to see or look at a lithium on? Because which one was I just on? Miner Stat has like 1 hour, 12 hours, 1 day, 3 days, and then all. Like it's not a good chart.
Thank you for the super chat, the Mighty King. $5 super chat. Looks the most profitable for single 4090s. Don't shit on it. He told you guys.
All right, here's one. I guess this works.
All right, you want me to show it?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so this was what, just testing, I guess, going on this last month?
yeah, testing.
Okay, they tested all, then they packaged it, and now it's starting to go online. Okay.
How long was that testing for? How long was that?
Oh, God.
And that was 28 and 22 days.
When did everybody pre-order those things?
That's crazy. 7 petahash down to 3. It more than doubled and then dropped. I mean, it's back up a little bit, but yeah, I mean, when you look at, I mean, it's going to be another Casa. It's just going to skyrocket.
Is it? Jesus Christ, Mike.
See, I think that's one of the biggest changes from 4 years ago to now. Is just how fast they come out with these miners and how how much hash rate's coming online and how many people are buying them. Like when the L7s came out, it wasn't this insane pump because not so many people even could run them. Now everyone in the world is just trying to do it.
Oh, so everybody's saying that basically all that hash rate now is shipping, right? So they put these things on, they heat cycle them, right? Okay, we're making our bag, send them out.
And they put their wallet address on there so you mine to it for a little bit when you plug it in.
Yeah, when you're not even paying attention.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Just think about even the little cents of millions of little cents.
Let me switch screens here, Dave.
Okay. It's just crazy. I don't know. We're in a wrong business, fellas.
There we go.
We got.
You know what would be interesting is Frank showed me this guy at BTC Nashville. I can't remember what it was, but he had all those charts. You remember that, Frank? And he had like all the beautiful dashboards and everything like that. What would be interesting is a chart comparing Aletheium to Caspa in times of like network hash rate jumps and price. You know what I mean? Because I have the price here for Aletheium, but if you look at it from like a business standpoint, from Bitmain, yeah, you could put it up. If you look at it from a business point from Bitmain, if conspiracy hat theory, but if they're pumping the price of these coins and artificially limiting the supply on the markets, Aletheium would be a fantastic buy right now, right? I'm sure if you were to put those charts on top of each other like Caspa, and because they're going to have to keep the price of this up to make these machines profitable
to sell.
And
right.
But yeah, I mean the market cap for this whole project is 148 million, which sounds like a lot, but in the ASIC world, that's nothing. So they would have enough money and enough liquidity from mining it to be able to kind of control the supply in the markets, I feel, and keep the price up. I don't know. Conspiracy theory, I need my tinfoil hat, but it seems like Aletheium would be a good buy right now. I don't know anything about the project, but
so you're saying that during that burn-in rate, they would keep all of everything they mine so that way it's not on the network?
Yeah, because if they like we just saw the network chart. If they were to dump that on the market, it would lower the price, and then it would say, hey, this Magic China box is only making this much per day, and then not many people are going to pre-order it, not many people are going to buy it. So I think that Bitmain out of anyone has an incentive to keep these projects as highly priced as they can. And I think that's what gave a lot of support to Caspa. I'm not saying it's not a good project, but this is not a whole lot of money for them, especially when Caspa first started, for them to be able to win at both, right? And then maybe that there's certain times that they do start selling in the markets and stuff like that. But if history repeats itself, I think Aletheium would be a really good buy right now, because you have a multi-billion-dollar and entire government of communist China to be able to kind of hold this up. Son of a Rabbit, your theory did not match on KDA. Yeah, no, I know KDA is it's not completely correlated, but I also don't see KDA as the same.
It did the same thing when Gold Shell came out with their KDA miner, and it was worth like $50,000 or something, and KDA went to $25.
Is Bitmain involved with KDA? Yeah, KDA. Bitmain has a KDA.
No, it was Gold Shell that came out with it, but I don't know if Bitmain came out with another one after that. But when Gold Shell came out with their KS5 or whatever, it shot up to $50,000, something like that. That's when Red Panda had like a huge. He didn't even know, and he was like on a live stream, and he was like, "Holy shit, I have so much of this."
Yeah.
Imagine, holy shit, I got a whole bunch of this.
KDA hit like $25, and he had like a huge bag of it.
Oh wow.
Oh, Panda.
Yeah, I mean it might not be the exact same story every time, but I do think that Bitmain has enough money to be able to do this, and Bitmain definitely doesn't care about miners. They're pump and dumps, right? In my theory, my opinion is that the theory is that, that they will find a way to manufacture these chips on these algorithms, and they will artificially increase the price of all of it and then sell the miners and win at both sides of it. But in Yusuf says until the entity crushes the project. Yeah, I mean they don't care though, right? Like the Bitmain does not care. Bitmain's in the market of selling miners, and that's it. But in order to sell miners, these things have to remain profitable. But it is, I guess, in a sense, a rug pull, right?
Yep.
There, you know, where does that line end? Where their supply and their run of all of these miners gets close to the end, and they start lowering the prices kind of where they are with cash. Like if anything, this is like, in my opinion, again, like this is a sell thing for Caspa, right? Like if seeing all the prices drop on these miners, this is like a sell Caspa type moment, or this is as good as it's going to get type moment.
He had a really good graph for Bitcoin where I always thought it was the opposite, but he showed the hash rate on the network, and then the hash rate would drop, and then Bitcoin would go down. Where I thought it was the other way around, that Bitcoin would go down and they would turn off miners.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually the opposite. The miners turn off and Bitcoin drops.
Yeah.
So it was
it is interesting seeing that. I remember seeing that with you there. It's not everything they think, but it also changes your view on how all the markets work, right? Like these are all unregulated markets. I know Coinbase has regulation here in the US, but this is all worldwide stuff. And a lot of these coins don't trade on US exchanges. So they could be manipulated by any market mover that's that big.
It's just crazy. It's just nuts. I mean, I don't know. I think they're coming out with an AL1 already. I don't know. I'm not sure, man. It's just like
it might be the same thing as Caspa, right? Then the AL2, AL3, ML, Z, H, whatever it is.
What's the Caspa chart look like when you
Caspa is just like
the network
as they were coming out with the miners, the AL0 or whatever was KS0, and then it continued.
They lasted a lot longer than I think this AL0 is lasting, in my opinion.
Caspa's 22 in market cap. See, that's I never would have guessed that, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure that having an overlay, that's what would be really nice about that guy's website.
Yeah, if you could see the date that the miner started being produced and then shipped, and if it just kept doing that same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Need graphs. Talk about it.
They need to add one more graph for ASIC manufacturing.
Yeah, let's start making our own ASICs, man. I can do most of it. I'm pretty sure. We just need to get a programmer. We're good.
I think your hands are too big.
I'm sure you'll start seeing
China
correlations with that. All these spikes and everything like that. Of course, has Bitcoin will raise everything if it goes up and stuff like that. But
it's just like those little spikes could have been the small like KS0 and then KS0 Pro, and then when they went to the full ASIC, maybe it was that big spike. We don't know until we overlay it, but I mean that could have easily been it. And the whole time they're like what you're saying, they're taking the tokens off of the network, holding it, and then if they take the tokens off the network, they could buy another $10 million worth or $100 million worth and pump it even more.
Yeah.
I mean,
everyone sees those ASICs going crazy, and then they come out with another one, and they just make their money off of the ASICs.
They're making hundreds of thousands of these units. Like when I get orders, guys, I don't get orders like really ever for one, man. I'm being honest. It's like,
but you think they're making hundreds of thousands or just thousands? Because I don't see them making hundreds of thousands.
I'm saying
hundreds. Of what the small ones, like the KSOs?
Yeah.
I think there's probably hundreds of thousands of those.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say hundreds of thousands. I mean, just a community. I bet we could get like a poll. I'm gonna put a poll up, or I'll have Panda do a poll because he has a lot of people that watch him. He's a big YouTuber. So I'll be like, Panda, put a poll like how many people have how many let's just say AL0s or any KS.
See, because I would think those would sell less than the big ASICs, because I mean it's just going to be home. It's just going to be home miners, but they're not gonna buy 10 of them, are they?
You got people. I have customers that have. I'm just talking about the sales, okay?
I guess I should ask Hawk. Yeah.
I'm just letting you know that it is not to be like, it's not common for a customer to order at least 5 of them, man.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah.
or 10 or 20. Like,
Yeah.
think about it. I made a solution that you don't have to have 3 power bricks, 2 power bricks. Now you can just go into your little 6-pin PSU, server PSU, with a breakout board and just line them all up. You know, it makes it easier.
Yeah.
They save a crap ton of money not buying those stupid power bricks, and they buy my cable, and everybody's happy.
And the power bricks like heat soak on one another. You know, when you put them all near each other and stuff, it just gets worse and worse.
They'll just die. I just did another YouTuber. I just I did a short on it. I do a lot of shorts because I don't have the time to do the videos, but I do a lot of shorts. And he had power bricks, and the capacitor burned through the power brick, so I cut his cables. I soldered my cables on. He's using those. Very low wattage. The power brick should have never burned up ever. That's just so stupid about the whole situation. You know what I mean? You're talking about like 15 watts. It's like nothing. You know, potato could power that up, but it is what it is.
Oh, I guess a lot of people have a lot of them.
Oh,
yeah.
You could see in just the people that are watching our show right now live. There's hundreds out there just in the live show, and we don't have like a lot of people watching. It's crazy, man. Yeah. It's nuts. Yeah.
Let me see when was the KSO released? KSO Pro was November 2023.
Yeah.
Where's that in here? November 2023. Oh, that's weird. It's right here. That's strange. Yeah. Okay, I think our theory on this might be on here.
When's the KSO? What was that? The KSO?
Yeah, this was the KSO Pro. Was right here. Here,
what was before the Pro? Was there a KSO?
It was KS0.
K0.
Then the KS0 Pro, and then the
KS0. When was the KS0 made?
Let's see, KS0, Ice River, KS0.
Yeah, KS1. Look it up too.
August of 23. So right here. Okay.
Yeah, so all that leading up to it, I guess.
Yeah. What about the KS? What was the next big one? Was it like the KS3?
KS1 was the big one. Was the next big one, wasn't it?
KS1 release date. This was the shipping was November 15th to the 30th.
It says release September 2023 for the KS1.
September. That would have been early or before the KSO. So right around here. Huh.
ASIC miner value has the release dates of all the miners.
ASIC miner value? Okay.
That's just crazy, dude. It's nuts.
Oh, never mind. It says the KS2 was September 2023 too, so that's not right.
So this is all kind of around that area right before November, right?
Yeah, because they started coming like every month or 2 months. They came out with another one.
Yeah.
I mean, there must be someone on the other side, right? Because I know some people buy Caspa, right? But everyone that I don't want to say everyone, but a majority of our customers, I believe, are mining Caspa and selling it immediately to pay it off. So I feel like the sell pressure for Caspa must be just massive. I know there's people holding it, right? But I think the majority are going to be selling it, which there must be so much pressure, downward pressure. Is there enough upward pressure to be able to supply that? I don't know.
Can you look at Litecoin or Doge for October 2021? That's when the L7 came out. I wonder if it's the same thing.
Or what was the date?
October 2021.
Right around here.
Is that Litecoin or Doge?
This is Doge.
Check Litecoin. That would have been before Doge was like popular.
October 21, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely always seems like some kind of pump.
Yeah, I mean, Litecoin is a big one for those companies. I feel to pull that kind of trick, but yeah, I mean,
you're on a really far scale.
Chart, yeah. Litecoin goes all the way to 2013.
Yeah, because all the other charts, those have only been around a little bit, so it would probably look similar.
Yeah.
To that.
Yeah,
I agree.
We just figured out how to.
Yeah. Dave, you got some weird music playing. Well, what is this?
What?
I hear like little it sounds like a Halloween town or something.
It's like ding 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 or some shit.
I think I'm not used to it because when you have it
never,
on,
because I have it on.
You
will hear it. Yeah. So now you have some like nice music, background music.
Yeah.
Like, you're welcome.
Yeah. But USIF, GPURisers, I'll never sell my cast. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that hold it, right? Anyone that held it from GPU mining, I mean, they made a killing, right?
Yeah.
But I think that a lot of people got into Caspa mining on a business level. And when you're mining on a business level, you have to pay these machines off. You can't operate a business and say, okay, I'm going to buy this machine for 10 grand, and then I'm going to mine $1,000 worth of ABC coin with it and not try to pay. Like, you can't do any kind of forecasting. You have no idea where the price is going to be. You have your main goal right away is to pay that off and get a return on what you spent, especially with Caspa, right? Because of the emissions and everything like that. It's hard to create a big, like what Marathon, right? For instance, they bought $100 million worth of these things or something. Like, there's no way that Marathon Digital bought all these machines and they're just like,
yeah, there had to be something else behind that, like either Bitmain or someone agreed to take their old S19s or their old ASICs and repurpose them and do like a trade, or I mean, there just
collusion.
There had to be something.
Yeah, there's always more to the story, I feel, especially with that deal, right? But there's no way Marathon's like, okay, what we're gonna do, and our shareholders will absolutely love this, is we're going to run at a negative and pay all this electricity for a year and just hope that this coin goes up, and then we're going to sell it for a profit. Like, Marathon can't operate like that. They'll get sued by shareholders.
Well,
you know what I mean?
This year, Marathon, if I'm thinking of the right company, I'm pretty sure it's them. The first quarter of this year, they made like 256 million or something. That was their profits. Then the second quarter, they lost like 78 million because of the Bitcoin halving.
Yeah.
So maybe it was a last ditch effort or something, but
yeah, I mean, it's
crazy.
Maybe they were anticipating it, right? And they'd come to a kind of a fork in the road, and they're like, okay, we're gonna have to we'll save all this money during the good time, and then we're gonna put it into something else. But they're gonna have to raise their revenue up. They're gonna have to do something, and I think that's what they're doing with the Caspa machines.
Right.
Is kind of doing that. But like I said, you can't just eat electric every single month and just be like, okay, well, this coin is going to go up. You can't operate a business like that. And so what I'm saying, long story short, is Marathon has to be offloading Caspa. They have to, and that must be an immense amount of Caspa. I mean, you could probably do the math, right? Like, how many machines do they buy? 100 million worth. What is that in terahash for Caspa, and how much is that a day? And then compare that with the volume on these exchanges. There has to be correlations with that.
And which machine did they buy? And which machine did they buy? Did they get a deal to get like the next level versus the one that everyone else would get?
With that much money, probably. You know what I mean? They probably funded their first thing. Bitmain probably took their 100 million and combined that with another $100 million order, made the overall order cheaper, and increased their profit margins on it. You never know what deals are going on. But with a company that size like Marathon, I mean, they have the direct contact with Bitmain and anyone in that company. There has to be the groups working together on that. they don't just call up, Bitmain like, hey, do you guys take a wire? It's,
here's some money, please.
Yeah, you guys take Amex. It's not like
Crazy.
We really want the points.
that. Yeah, we want credit card points. But Homebrew said, I'll just read this one real quick, Dave. I know you.
Yeah.
I know Hut 8 when they got into GPU mining, he said it was going to be another avenue to build their BTC holdings, swap ETH into BTC. Yeah. Hut 8 was actually just got I think they were acquired, or it's a partnership with CoreWeave, who has a partnership with NVIDIA for AI and stuff. They're doing some cool stuff, but they're using the infrastructure for the power infrastructure and stuff and kind of converting it over. That's what Core Scientific is doing. Core Scientific kind of hedged their bets by going into the AI field and diversifying, whereas I feel like Marathon doubled down with the Caspa miners. So two different business models. But
completely. Yeah.
Yeah. It's Retro Mike. Marathon is 30 petahash. KS3 is another 30 petahash, KS5 and KS5 Pro. They're publicly traded and had to disclose it. Yeah. No, you're right, 100%. And that, like I said, they have to be selling this. They have to cover this cost. They can't just hope that this coin is going to continue to go up. So they have a duty to all their shareholders and everything like that. But who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. It's a dog game out there. So
yeah,
you just gotta see how it goes. I mean, I don't know what else to say, really. I mean, it's just, I don't want to give advice about what you should do and what you shouldn't do, right? Because you get held liable for shit like that. But
not really.
I'm very conservative when it comes to any of this stuff, right? I mean, I'm the guy that makes the cables, and it's hard for me to get every single miner out there. I try to, but it's just like, it is what it is. I have to keep on making something new. Like, for instance, like I showed you guys here, like this is, 2 units that I want to see if we, maybe we'll do a pre-order of like 50 units to get that price of like $42.99 per unit. Just landed. I have to do them in house, right? So I have to order these units and then I have to make them. So let me know in the comments below. If you don't, on my Discord, join my Discord, but I'll probably put them online and then until we hit the 50 units. And if not, I'll just refund the money. But I don't know. It's just something I never wanted to do anything pre-ordered, but it's just like it's a large investment in this day and age right now. It's not that I can't do it. It's just a large investment that, I have to see if it's worthwhile for you guys, right? If you just feel like, these are cool little pieces here and there, then so be it. You know what I mean? But, it is what it is. This thing's getting all messed up here. Anyway, that's all I got really for tonight, Mike. Crypto Frank, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Anytime, man. Like, this is good. This is good stuff. Today was altcoin.com event.
Yeah. No, I think that I talked more about Caspa today than I ever have.
You know what? Hey, you hear that? Vistang loves Caspa.
Love it. Yeah. Put your life savings in it.
He's bullish. He's
that financial advice, Dave.
Yeah.
Sell everything and buy Caspa.
That's it. But we'll be on Vistang's channel next week. I know that I missed quite a few channels, quite a few live shows. I just have a lot of things going on in the background. But we'll get back in rhythm, and you'll be on Vistang's channel, and that's about it. Any final words, guys?
No. Thanks everyone for joining in. Thanks Frank for hopping on.
Yeah,
yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
All right, perfect. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later, and we'll see you on the next one. Hit that like, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Later.
All right, bye.